Hey, what's up, everybody? Frederick Poag here. Well, the Senate just passed the revised version of the new Big Beautiful Bill. And lo and behold, man, it's only going to be $442 billion. That's crazy. Wow, what a cost savings, right? No. Basically, what they've done is they've done it with this recalculation. So it's not done by the Congressional Budget Office, which is nonpartisan. What they're not counting, because they're doing an extension of the 2017 Trump tax cuts, is they're only counting new cuts and new things that are deficit causing. Because the other ones they were under the old bill, so they don't count for this one. Wow. I wish I could do that with the credit card companies. Hey man, would you stop charging me for, what I spent 2 months ago? Let's just count what I'm spending this month. That would be awesome. Yeah, it don't work like that. But Republicans do that more often than you think. Bush did that with the Iraq War. He basically put it in a separate category. This is George W. Bush. And, wow, that war was so cheap. And then where Obama got hit with it, because he had the largest deficit ever, is he basically took what Bush and the Republicans did and put it back in, the column it's supposed to go to. And so then suddenly we had this balloon deficit. And then that was what they used to justify to water down the Recovery Act from the '08 crash. And that's why we got this anemic recovery and made it harder for Democrats to, basically who they got wiped out in 2010 and so on and so forth. But that's what Republicans do. They do the funny math, right? They hide these costs. And the master of that was Trump. In fact, Letitia James brought him to court in New York for falsifying his records, his tax records. Because and Michael Cohen's talked about this, what Trump liked to do was when he was going for a loan, he would absolutely overinflate the value of his properties so he can get better rates, because he's putting that up for collateral, and get more money in loans. But when it came for tax time, he completely undervalued them and had a whole different thing. It was barely worth anything. So he didn't have to pay as many taxes on it because he's a crook. And Republicans have been doing that forever. Make no mistake, what's happening with the Big Beautiful Bill is it is a giveaway to billionaires. Just like 2017 was. It is another giveaway. And they're going to stick Democrats with the bill. Oh yeah. We may win in the next election in 2018, but we're going to be the ones that clean up the mess. You ever wonder why the last two Democratic presidents had stuff like the Recovery Act and the Rebuild Act and all these other things? It's because Republicans run up the credit card. They cause all this giveaways and all this rampant spending for the rich and all these subsidies and all these tax breaks and all this other stuff. And they know it's not really going to have an impact until a couple years down the line. And then when it does, they're out of power for a little bit, but then they get to lob all the blame at the current administration. And because people are hurting from stuff that happened 2 or 3 years ago, and Democrats can't fix it fast enough because the Republicans are constantly obstructing their agenda, and you've got some corporatist Democrats that, let's face it, don't really want to do anything other than just kind of tinkering around the edges. They vote in Republicans again, and they do it all over again, rinse and repeat. Don't fall for the okie doke. This is a massive, massive debt bill, and they're going to stick it to us, the rest of America. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Keep the faith, defend democracy, and I'll see you later.